Hi, everyone. I'm Eilers-Heffner. I'm sure most of you probably know, and I'm a Sapphire ambassador. And I wanted to have my friend Jamie give us some bits of wisdom today. So Jamie Ravelli is also a doctor of physical therapy. I met her at my first Emerald trip in 2019, and she was able to retire from being a physical therapist. We had a lot of things in common. She had some health issues that were similar to mine, and so we've stayed in contact off and on ever since. And at every event we connect and chat, and it's awesome. And Jamie's a diamond, and I know, as you can see, she has her diamonds behind her there. And she is just going to share with us some inspiration and things that will help us propel our businesses forward too. So thank you, Jamie, so much for being on. We appreciate it so much, taking the time to be with us.
Thank you. Thank you for spending this time, especially after another call. So do you guys ever, when you have a guest speaker, like go on Facebook and look them up before, like on social? Okay, I do the same thing. So if you did look at my profile, I'm not a social media guru. I have been consistent for 7 years. Something I'm digging into now, but you may have seen that it says John Maxwell, speaker, trainer, coach. So I just got certified as a John Maxwell coach, but honestly, I'm still really working on the speaking piece. I am that quiet diamond that likes to lead behind the scenes. And I love to write. And so even like if you have a fear of speaking or anything like that, just get out and do it, right? Because somebody's going to take away something and you're going to add value to somebody. And so that's my hope for you tonight. So even though I'm not a strong speaker yet, I do feel like I have learned so much, and I love Plexus. It has been a big part of our lives for 7 years, and I'll talk about bits of my stories. If you have any questions, just ask in the chat. But I want you to write this down or think about this. And I have this written on the top of my notebook. I am committed to my potential path, specifically in the areas of my calling, every day and intentionally. So I'll read that again. I am committed to my potential path, specifically in the areas of my calling, every day and intentionally. That's pretty big. And so drop a 1 in the chat if you know how are you using Plexus as your platform? Like, we all have goals, right? Which is really important. And Jackie just talked about that with you guys. Sometimes when I look at that, or I don't feel overwhelmed anymore, but I did for a long time, because I'm like, okay, what is my calling? Like, how do I do this? What's being intentional mean? Like, I know how to show up every day, but what are the things that I need to be doing? And so I'm going to share after. I'll share it with Elizabeth, and she can share it with you. It's it's a graph. Let me see if I can. Should have put this on the computer, but it's a. I'm very black and white, like my brain, I need lists. And I think there's a lot of medical professionals on this team, right? Probably think the way that I do. I have a list of urgent, not urgent, urgent and important, or urgent but not important, not urgent but important, not urgent and not important. So it's written out. And these are all the tasks that I feel that would be really helpful to prioritize, especially if you don't have a lot of time, which I didn't. And I want to talk about that. So urgent and important would be reaching out to new people daily, following up with the new people daily, social media, but not scrolling, but perks, following up with people about perks, helping your new hungry business builders in 3-way chats, wishing people happy birthday, customer care, stuff like that. So it has all the things, because when I started, my sponsor wasn't really working. And so I was on my own. We have a great upline, Emily Fennell, if you know her, she's a corporate trainer. I'm her level 4, but she was really heavily poured into her level 1s and 2s. And so I didn't really have my first coaching call I paid for. And so I really, for a long time, just wanted that list of what's important, what's not important. And you guys have great resources, but it's always helpful just to hear somebody else, or look at something else, and it's all the same stuff. It's just presented in a different way. So I'm going to share that with you tonight. But so just a little bit about me. I live in Maine. who's been to Maine before, live on the coast of Maine. Sal and Sue, do you guys know, you know Sal and Sue? So they came to Maine last summer and visited with us. They were on their way back from Bar Harbor, and they stopped over and had dinner with us, which was super fun. I love them. I met them at jewel training. I have a mom of 2 boys. I have a almost 13-year-old and a 3-year-old. So I have almost teen and a toddler, which is super fun. And our 3-year-old is a plexus baby. And that was part of our why, which came true. I love all things nature. I love to travel, be outside. I'm a Diamond, almost senior gold. So once you hit Diamond, you can go to the next level, which is reentry, and then you can grow again. And my reentry is almost senior gold. And that is really fun because I've learned so much along the way. And so I'm doing things a little bit differently now. And so one other thing real quick is I didn't start for the business. I started for the products. And my sponsor had to follow up with me for months before I even said yes to joining. So I just say that because if you have people that you're really passionate about or think do really well, and they may have already joined you for the products, but they just keep saying no to the opportunity, don't give up on them. Just, keep asking, keep following up, keep speaking life into them, like encouraging them, because I was that person that kept saying no. And it really was like through prayer that I just felt like, all these prayers I had over here, and God was like, okay, all of that is right in plexus, and I couldn't see it for a long time. And then I saw the vision and I just was amazed at what happened. And so I want to talk a little bit real quick about how do I get here to there? Because I feel like that is a big question that I've had and still have about different things, but how do I get here from there? So the there is going to look different for all of you. Some of you want to be a diamond. Some of you are just, want to make some extra money and be home and help some people. That is going to look different. I will tell you that it will change, and probably you guys know that. I thought, I'm like, okay, Emerald's awesome. That's going to be great. I'm going to replace my PT income. I'm going to be home, and that's fine. And I'll be good there. But I want to tell you that God has bigger dreams for you than your personal dreams. And we can't even fathom those dreams. So just keep, as you achieve things, just keep dreaming bigger, but doing the smaller things, right? One of the women that spoke to us at the growth day, and John Maxwell, she had this real quick, she had this big dream to help impoverished women have an education in Uganda. And she kept focusing on changing the world. And she said, it dawned on me that I needed to start with one person. And for her, it was 3 people. She was like, I'm going to travel to Uganda and I'm going to teach them how to make shoes and different things. And I'm going to help 3 women pay for their college. And she said, the moment that I started focusing on the smaller things instead of the big things, okay, I want to be a diamond, but no, how can you give good customer care to that one person? Right. So I was like, that's brilliant. I needed that reminder. So how can you, focus on the small things, which on the day-to-day honestly feels like, how can this really help me grow? But it does, because plexus is so simple. It's the smaller things that we prioritize that take 15 or 30 minutes or an hour a day. And as you grow a little bit more, because you have some other things to do, but I tell people, if they're like, I don't know where to start, I'm like, okay, can you give an hour a day? And for me, I was working full-time until I reached Emerald. 60 plus hours a week. I worked acute care weekends, not by choice, but it's just, we rotated. It was just a thing our hospital had us all do. And, my husband worked 6 or 7 days a week. He owns his own company, and he was building it and hiring people. And I didn't have help. I did dinner, I did bedtime routine, I did it all. Right. And does that resonate with anybody? And so, I was thinking about that, and, I thought about these, it was so easy for me to say, I'm too busy for this. But I want to challenge you. Because the thoughts that we tell ourselves become our identity. They become true. We start to believe them. They affect our actions. They affect what we're doing. And I want to challenge you that, if you're sitting here and you're feeling like, I don't have enough time for this, or I'm too busy, I want you to flip the script. And, for me, it was my husband works 6 or 7 days a week. And, I do all the things at home and I work outside the home during the day. And I flip that to, this is an opportunity to bring him home more and create more time as a family and a more present father. Right. Something I thought, I'm tired at the end of the day. Thank God for active, and we didn't have active in the very beginning, but like even Slim was amazing for energy, but I'm tired, doing all the things by myself, to flip it to, I can use this opportunity to be home more and enjoy raising my kids and create more flexibility in our life. Right. Just a couple other things, I'm still healing. And I had I'm not autoimmune. I had Lyme disease too. I was treated for a couple of years. And so I was still healing from that. And I don't have a big enough story yet. So I was like still healing. And I'm like, I don't have a big enough story. Right. But honestly, people, I knew the products work because it took care of bloating. It helped me slept better, more energy, better mood. Like these are the things that people want. Don't feel like you have to have a big story to share, or to share somebody else's story. You can go to your team pages and find stories to share with people, right? Because everybody has different goals. And a lot of people are just looking for, either weight or more energy, or just to feel better, or now after the last couple of years, really support health. And so I had so many reasons why I couldn't make this happen. Or did I? I chose to reframe that. And I have so many reasons why I need to make this happen. Right. And I didn't look at the big picture. I pictured a staircase, and we don't know what the top of the staircase. Yes. Okay. I want to be diamond or jewel, or, I want to, achieve X, Y, and Z. I want to help these people. But if you just focus on that next step and ask yourself, if you're feeling overwhelmed, go reach out to 10 people. That's what I did. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, wait, I'm going to go talk to 10 people. I'm going to start 10 new conversations, or whatever that is for you, 3, 5, 10. I'm going to take action, because that cures everything. Right. And these little action steps, and asking yourself, what is that next step? Have a journal. And I was the last person to sit down. I love to be busy. I love to always fill my time, but journaling has become such an important part of growth. And I don't know, I wasn't like that for a long time. I was like, I don't need to journal. I don't need any of those affirmations or anything like that. And it is so important, because if you are not brain dumping on a regular basis, it is so hard to reflect on like, what is going well for you? What is not going well? What can I do differently? Right? Because you picture a quarterback, right? Quarterback, they throw interceptions, right? If a quarterback continues to throw interceptions, they become a quarterback that throws interceptions, and that's a pattern, right? So things are going to be sneaky in your lives, and they're going to become patterns. And that's what you want to be afraid of. And so I'll talk a little bit about that too, but I just got way off track. But in order to get where you want to go, is that next there, right? And so we first have to figure out, where are we? So if you know where you want to go, and if you don't, I want you to journal, I want you to brain dump, and I want you to get some clarity. Pray if you have faith, and just ask for that, the vision. I think we all know what we want in some capacity, and that clarity will change over time. But I think we all hit join for a reason, right? We're all here tonight for a reason. We all have a different, goal. And so if you picture a Navy SEAL, right, that's dropped into enemy territory, the first thing to do is they need to identify their location, right? Not saying we're being dropped into enemy territory, but if you're put into action, we need to know where we are. Where are we starting? We need to know, what are the things that are holding us back? To me, that's the enemy. What are the things, the limiting beliefs? What's holding you back? Get a journal, write it down, take some time. What's not working for me? Why am I not getting, towards this goal? If something's working for you, pour gasoline on that, right? That strategy. Knowing where you are, and then who are you working to develop, and who are those people that are supporting you? Who are your people, right? So having vision is so important, and there's different ways that you can find that. And I just encourage you to keep reevaluating your vision, because it will change. And my prayer lately, hey, I've achieved all these things, but what is God, what do you want me to do? How do you want me to use this? who are the people? I'm reading a book. I don't know where it is, but no, I don't know where it is, but it's like right people, right place, right plan, or something like that. Have you guys heard of that? I can share it with you, but I really feel like if we are approaching this from the right place and not from a place like, I need customers, I need growth. If you're like, who can I help? Then the people come, right? If you're doing the things, you're creating new conversations with urgency, but not desperation, the people will come. And so, so limiting beliefs is something to really journal about. And we have got to work on our limiting beliefs. Like for me, I was like, I don't need the thought work. I just need to do the things. I need to take action. I don't know if you guys have taken the disc, but I'm like a CDI, like C, like I just need to do the things, right? Not out of scarcity. And so we all have limiting beliefs. We all have fears. We all need to do thought work. It's just part of life. And Henry Cloud, you guys know who he is? I like him. He talked about the 40% rule in psychology, which is so simple. What it is it's your mind telling you that you're done. Okay. So when you get that resistance in your mind saying like, I'm done doing the tasks. That's that 40% rule. So I don't know if you want to list some examples like in your business, but I had written down like, I've reached out to everybody, or I've done the posts, the reels, you're actually only 40% done when your mind starts telling you to do the thing, because our minds are wired to protect us. They don't want us to be uncomfortable, right? And so when your mind tells you you're done, you've only reached 40% of your potential. So I want to think about that next time you're feeling done and write down what that is. And how can you, push through that? Because our minds can also propel us forward, but they can also really hold us back, right? We have to create, and I won't get into all like scientific, but we have to create new neural pathways to be comfortable, right? And once you start doing stuff, it's like, oh, that wasn't so bad, right? And that's how you keep moving forward. If you're at gold and you want to be senior gold, or, what are some things that you can do to get you out of your comfort zone to start acting like what does a senior gold do? Like people start to lead, right? I feel like people really start to take on leadership things at that level. So what are some things that you can do to make you uncomfortable to keep moving forward? John Maxwell talks about engaging your strengths or talents. And so I wrote down what talent or strength do I need to engage, or do you need to engage to become like who you want to be? So I had written down like, who am I going to bring into my circle? And so this can be, this can be investing in your growth. This can be joining a coaching group. This can be being consistent with plugging into book club or team calls. This can be therapy. That's really important. I think my dad was a therapist. I just think that's super important in different seasons of your life. And maybe you need to get a business coach. Maybe you are starting to earn an income and you can't afford that VA, but maybe you can afford them for 5 hours a week so you can work your business or maybe you can get that house cleaner for a couple hours a week. So start to think about like, how can I invest back in my business, in my time, so I can focus on things I need to do and move the needle forward. The things that, I'll talk about that in a second. So strategy. So, you're getting your vision, you're revisiting your vision, what do I need to implement into my circle? What are the people? We always want to have somebody in our lives that's further along than we are, right? Like I always want to be an encourager, but I want to be a receiver too. Like people are going to be put in your life for you to encourage that you're further along than them. And you also want people in your life that are further along that where you want to be, right? That makes sense. But having a strategy is beyond just having a plan. Okay. So I am really big on strategy, really big on having a plan. If you don't do your plan, I don't want you just to recommit to doing the plan. Okay. So I'll tell you what I mean. So if you write down TPAP, time, plan, activities, people, time, plan, activities, people. These are all the pieces of the strategy to move the needle forward. Okay. You need all these things. And where I have seen in the last 7 years, where I've seen people fail is that they don't have the activities and they don't have the people in order to achieve them. And so therefore they're not following the plan, right? So I'll share that grid with you, but it is those activities that you say, okay, I have 1 hour, I have 15 minutes times 4. So when I was working full-time, PTs, any PTs here are healthcare professionals, teachers, people that don't have time to pee during the day, like take a break. I didn't have time to take a break during the day, but I always had a plan. I always had my notebook. I always had who I wanted to talk to, and I would always be adding to that list who I was going to follow up. A lot of rehab people, cool. And I knew I got to work early and do 15 minutes. I'd do messages on the way, didn't really get a lunch break. Sometimes I would choose to do plexus over charting, therefore I'd have to do charting at night. But you can figure it out, 3-way calls. I'd sneak out the, lunchtime and do 3 calls. Like there are increments of 15 minutes in your day that can amount to an hour that can move the needle forward. And for me, my personality is like, well, if I don't have the whole hour to work out, or I don't have the whole time block, it's not even worth it. But I had to change my mindset because, right, the little things count. And it's those little things that are going to move the needle forward. And so if you can, kind of like Sunday nights, I still do this. I'm like, what does my week look like? What do I need to do? Like, who are the people I'm going to talk to? If you can kind of have that plan when you have a couple of minutes, it's going to get much easier to work your business. So just think about that. You don't need to have that whole time. You can do it in increments. I'll try to hurry up because there's probably I've heard so much tonight, but, so strategy. So if I talk to a bunch of you, right, or a bunch of diamonds even that, and ask them, and I have in Hawaii, I've asked like a lot of people, like, how did you tell me your story? I love hearing people's stories. I love asking questions. Every person is going to give you a different answer. We all share the same products, the opportunity, but each person is going to have a different strategy. And some are really strong at like 15-minute messenger events. Some like to do live events. Some, there are people like Zoom events, some like in-person events, I'm not just thinking like all events, but every single thing that we do, you're going to do it a different way, but we're all sharing the same comp plan, same opportunity, same products, right? So I would like take some time, like, what are you passionate about? Like, what are some things that you like to do that you can shine, right? And then how can you work together with your team, which you guys have an amazing team and great collaboration and all that, to create ways to win. So there are 1,000 different ways to win, but what doesn't work? 1,000 different ways to win, right? You got to hone in on the things that work for you, and that can evolve too. But what is one thing that you can do today? Can you put an event on your calendar? Have you ever hosted an event? Can you grab a couple people and do that? Can you start hosting, I don't know, do you guys do power hours? Like we do in different seasons, but can you, yeah, same. So can you do a power half an hour with your people, right? Can you take 10 minutes, create a little plan and jump on and just, be that leader for your person? It doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be perfect. Can you do the things that you like to do to move that forward? So, and then what can you say no to? Dr. Henry Cloud says the biggest strategy word is no. I struggled with this for a long time. And so I'd encourage you to make a list of 3 things that you can say no to reach your goals. For me, I had literally no time. I was working 60 hours a week, basically single parent for a long time, which I just want to say, my husband has a lot of time flexibility now, and the personal growth that I've done has been contagious for him and that he's done. And it's changed our marriage. It's changed the way we parent. He is very present. Part of our plexus why, for me was first just to help people, because I just love the products. And then it became wanting to be home and leave the clinic. And I love therapy, but I just felt being called in a different direction. Then it became, moving into a different house, wanting more land, to garden and stuff like that. And God put the amazing house and we almost have it paid off, which is crazy. Like, I'm just sharing this to let you know that like anything you want is possible, and like you can speak what you want. But God has bigger dreams for you, right? And so John Maxwell, I feel like a super squirrel right now, but John Maxwell said, when you think about your goals and your dreams, who's going to be impacted by those, right? We can have our own personal goals, but we also want to think of like, how can we make an impact too, which I know you guys do. So all of these things have happened. Like, I just was so specific in prayer. I'm like, new house, lots of windows, lots of light, mountain views, hiking trails. It happened. It happened. And so I want to encourage you, like, if you're feeling like stuck, or like you have a goal or a dream, I want you to like start speaking it and start like praying over it. I wanted a bigger house to like host groups and like serve and gather and all of that. And lastly, to have a baby. So I was pretty sick for a long time, and that's why weren't able to have another child. And I just kept praying, like, I won't get into my whole health story, but literally every day, probably tears, like, I want another child, a sibling for our oldest. And the month that we hit Diamond as a team is the month that I got pregnant. And it was just so amazing. It was in April. It was actually in April. And so there's nothing, God cares about the little things, right? He cares about the little things. And we named our son Leonardo, which means lion strength. My husband's Italian, and boy, did we get a little boy with lion strength. It was totally fitting. God is so good. Yes. And so whatever these things are for you. And then I had a season where I'm like, okay, I'm like, all these amazing things have happened. And my goal is to help other people on my team and in Plexus achieve these things, but it's got to be more than that. You got to keep asking, like, okay, God, use me. Like, what can I do? And so lately I've been getting back to the prayer of like, multiply the work of my hands and multiply the efforts of my time, right? I can't remember what scripture that is. Psalm 90, right? No, Psalm 90. So anyway, super squirrel, but make a list of 3 things for you to reach your goals in Plexus. And that's going to be meaning saying no to some things. For me, it was like no TV. I love to volunteer for stuff, but I took a season of not doing anything, but just working my business and working, and didn't have much time for much else. And then when I reached a certain level, it became getting a coach, a VA, and not deep cleaning my house anymore. So let that go. Like, I'm not doing it. I mean, I like to clean, but I don't like to deep clean. So we hire that out now. So as you grow, what can you subtract off your plate? And what are some activities that you can add onto your plate to build into your life? So activities was one of the other, the TPAP, time plan activities. People, belief is the number one factor if a goal can be achieved. And with ourselves and with your people, I 99% of the time it's a belief issue, right? And encourage you, again, grab a pen and paper and go deeper with that. If you're having a call with one of your team members, ask them questions, get to the root of that belief. Is it a fear? What is it? So number 1, the belief, it can be done. And number 2, oops, hold on. Oops, my timer just went. I set my screen for 10 o'clock. It says go to sleep, but I didn't to turn that off tonight. So number 2 is prioritization of the activities that can move the needle forward. And I think that graph that I'll share with you is going to be super helpful. If those activities that you need to do are not getting the best of you before anything else, there's a prioritization problem. And this is something that I'm always working on. And that's a quote from Henry Cloud. You can't say no to the things that got you where you are today, so you can say yes to the activities that will get you to the next level. And then I just wrote down measurement and accountability, because I think measuring and reflecting is super, super important. So I'm going to write that down too. For me, it's Sunday nights, and even get more specific, like if you're going to reach out to 10 people, are all those people not replying? Okay, so maybe you need to tweak your message, get help with that, right? Speak from the heart more. If 2 people reply, that's 20%. So track that, right? So there's certain ways that you can kind of measure simply in your business. I do that. I've done this all along. In the beginning, it spewed so much information. I'm like, okay, these messages aren't working. So we need to tweak things. And then do a calendar audit, and are your activities on your daily basis in your business aligning with your vision? And I know we hear this a lot, but hear me out, because this isn't about Lululemon. This is your vision. Are your activities aligning with your vision? Your vision is to fund, or get out of debt, is to fund that organization that you want to, is to bring your spouse home from work, is to, whatever that is, pay for your kids' college. Like, are your activities aligning with your vision? Okay. You can go out and sign 3 people up and develop one to get the card, but really ask yourself, do a audit, did my week reflect my vision, right? These little things are so important to do on a daily basis. So if you, couple questions you can ask yourself, am I doing what I said I was going to do? Am I getting the results that I want? And having a plan, the plan is what's going to hold you accountable. If you don't have a plan, you're taking shots in the dark, right? A lot of times in coaching, it's people are not making a plan because they have a fear of failing, a fear of what success is going to look like. So there's always a deeper reason that people aren't creating plans, and just asking questions can help people, and asking yourself questions can help you break through those, whatever it is. You can look to see if you did or didn't do your plan. That's it. Sit down once a week. Did I do what I said I was going to do? When you have a plan, the first question to ask yourself is, did I do the plan? Get a journal, do some thought work, find out why. I just love brain dumps. I love thought work. I love getting honest with myself, and asking questions to help my team get honest with themselves. Were there fears holding you back? Figuring out the why behind the inability to do the activities needed to get where you want to go, right? This is so fun. And when we tell ourselves, limiting beliefs, or it becomes not fun. But when you are actually like doing the things and, getting results and helping people, it is just super fun, right? Problems shouldn't scare you. You're going to come up with problems, just like with anything in life. This is failing forward. I love problems because winners find answers to problems, right? They shouldn't scare you, but just be afraid of those patterns. If you're identifying patterns, that's what you should be wanting to shift. And if you're getting results, great, awesome. Like, pour gasoline on those, while they're working. And if you're not getting the results you want, it's time to change your strategy, right? And again, that strategy is just that the time, how much time are you putting in? What's your plan? What are the activities that you're doing on a daily basis? And who are the people, right? And getting the people are just going to be going out and finding the people. And that's going to be with consistency. And for me, prayer for sure. I think that was all. Okay. Just when I was like thinking about what to share, hopefully it wasn't all over the place. It's like so late, but I was really thinking about this verse, and it's something that this verse that I love. He who began a good work in you will carry it out to completion until the day of Jesus Christ. And so Philippians 1:6. And so believe that there's work to be done. There's work in you. This is bigger than you, right? This is abundance. This is, making a change for your life and your family, and allowing you to create a life around, your own design, and having financial flexibility and all of these amazing things, and helping people. But there's a purpose for you that's different than it is for me, right? And so just asking for what that is, right? Plexus can be such an amazing platform for you to bless people, right? And that's going to look different for each and every one of us. And just keeping that on the forefront, when I remind myself of that, all the fears go away. it doesn't get hard for me to do the activities anymore because I am on a mission to bless other people. And when you bless other people, you grow and you will be rewarded, right? And so it is just such a blessing. So one more thing, John Maxwell at IMC, he shared 3 things because I was like, he's been so successful. He's written like 89 books or something. He speaks to people all around the world, government officials, presidents, churches, he's done it all. He does it all. And he said, he goes, I don't always have clarity with what I'm going to do. I know, I have some clarity, like I have a goal, have a vision, but I'm always asking myself, what's that next step? So I ask you, what is that next step that you can take? Just one. Don't feel like you have to do all the things and know all the things, but what is that one step? So when you're feeling overwhelmed, take a little bit of action and just ask yourself, what's that one next step that I can to move forward? And lastly, he says, there are 3 things that he has driven him and helped him to be as successful as he is. And he says, number 1, walk with me. When I walk with him, because he was talking about like, he has, you guys, he has such faith. I mean, he even wrote like a leadership Bible. I brought it home. He like wrote a leadership Bible. Haven't dug into it yet, but he says, walk with me. When I walk with him, he surprises me. Now to him who is able to do immeasurable things more than all that we ask or imagine according to his power that is work within us. I didn't start off with big goals. I started off with a big God. He says, work with me. When I work with him, he teaches me. When I work with him, he touches me. When we won't get to the big stuff until we get to the small stuff, right? So what are we doing on the daily? And then watch how I do it. When I watch him, he shows me. So I just love that. Like, anyway, but hopefully that helps. Can open up for questions.
Oh my goodness, it's so good. Thank you. You guys have questions? Now's your chance. We have a diamond on our call.
If anything comes up too, I can message you back, or can I read any of the messages?
What was the very first quote you told us? I'm committed to.
I'm committed to my potential path, specifically in the areas of my calling, every day and intentionally. So that's essentially like,
We missed it again.
oh, sorry.
Hold on. My potential path. I got that.
That's hilarious. I'm committed to my potential path, specifically in the areas of my calling, every day and intentionally. And so you can create your own mission statement for yourself, like have a mission statement. I can share with you, I can send it to you. It's kind of long, but yeah, I would encourage you, like, just create your own mission statement, like for yourself. And that has helped me gain clarity on like what I'm doing, how I'm showing up, that I have a mission statement, and I've changed it a couple times, but essentially it's the same like structure.
Do you have more office hours now that you're not working in the clinic full time?
Yeah. So I hit Emerald in 14 months because as soon as I saw the vision, I was a crazy person and I was like, just game on. Like I just was on a mission, but, and everybody's different. Like if it takes you 5 years, it is so worth it. Right. And so I didn't have time to think about much when I was building to Emerald because I just was working and full time and all the things. And so but then when I hit Emerald, I did start to have more focused time. So now, and this depends on season. So when I bring on a new person, it's like they're newborn, right? They need to be fed frequently, right? So and my family knows that, like, okay, I've got a new business builder, I've got a new person, like, but I used to work like every evening because I That's the time that I had. So I typically work like Monday nights. I hire childcare because it's easier for me with the 3-year-old, and you can do it, but I've been doing some like other coaching too. So childcare Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So I've got 3 days of help. And so I really try to get a lot done, or sometimes I'll go to appointments and things, or lunch, or with a walk with a friend or whatever. But, and then if I need to Thursday night, if we need to do an event, like I'll hop on and do like an event. So like a couple evenings a week, but, it just depends on like different seasons. Yeah. And then if we have new business builders or not, so. I think you're muted.
I didn't know if my background would be loud with my older kids out here. When I started, I was the same, like working full time and doing all the things. And then I would work intermittently, but then I would focus time in the evening when my kids were in bed and my husband was gone. And then it morphed and changed. And now I just try really hard to have like in my office hours, around all the other things, but I still work intermittently. But I also don't try to work when my kids are all running around either, or when they need me, or during a meal time, or after school time, stuff like that. So
Same. And I had to learn how to set boundaries with that, because I didn't have that for a long time. And so now, right. So we have so when kids are home, and then through dinner, we'll try to put our phones away and stuff like that. So that's really important, because they, it's important that you're honoring and valuing like our family too, because we don't want them to become resentful, of this. And I truly believe that it can all be done, even if you're working outside the home, you can do that, and you can build your business, and you can have boundaries with your time. And that's one thing I'm learning the second time to Diamond is, you can do all the things and do it well and feel in alignment. Right. And it truly is like, I'm like, okay, God, family first, and then, setting boundaries, with time and things like that. And it totally can be done, because the things that we have to do don't take a lot of time. Like if you did a time audit, like how much time are you scrolling in there? What are you doing that's not going to move the needle forward? Like, okay, like if somebody tells me like in a coaching, like I feel really stuck, I'll go through with them. Tell me what your time looks like. How are you spending your time? And like more often than not, they're like, well, I watched a training today. I'm like, okay, that's amazing, but that's not connecting with people and so forth. So if people have limited time, like what are the key things that you can really do just to move the needle forward?
Jackie was just talking about the time auditing too on her call.
Oh, good. Yeah. Biggest hurdle. Oh gosh. Okay. I'll feel real quick at this. At first, it was, what are people going to think of me? It was a fear, because I was, we have done a lot in the community. Husband and I both coached basketball. He coaches now. I don't. I just kind of help out and cheer on. But I ran like a sports clinic. Worked with our YMCA. Do you guys have YMCA where you are? Like our PT office was attached to YMCA. So like, small town, we're a small town, coastal town. So it was like everybody knows each other. And I was like, what are people going to think of me? And so that was like a hurdle in the beginning that I had to work through. And it really came down to like, I believe in this and I feel like I'm supposed to do this. And like the people that I don't really care, right? Like I'm just going to focus on my family and who I can help. And then, but I think like, and I will say this, you guys have an amazing support system and collaboration. When I caught the vision, did not have that. And so what I did, that was a big hurdle. We had like no systems, because corporate has amazing things out now. We had none of that when I started. Like I had a team page by myself when I was gold, right? Like I started it with 12 people. And then I would make a post and I'd reach out to those people and I say, hey, I just made a post. Can you comment? And I would start to create our own momentum. And that's how we started. And so the biggest hurdle was like not having the resources, and I had to create them. But I will say, if it wasn't for the one plexus culture, I don't know where I'd be, because there's so many amazing people in plexus that we didn't have team calls. So I reached out to other people in plexus and said, hey, can I get on your team calls? Like, um, all these things. And so, hey, what would you do with this? I remember Brianne Coolidge, she was in the same boat. You guys know Brianne? And so she got on the phone with me for like 45 minutes, and I was like, wow. And so Brooke Hemingway, I reached out to, because she was in healthcare, and Sarah Marble, I reached out to, and I was like, oh, they're probably not going to respond to me, but I'm just going to reach out because I'm a healthcare professional too. And I just want to know all the things. And they helped me. Like Brooke responded to me as a silver and like helped me. And I would watch every one of their training videos. So I would soak in all everybody else's. Emily Gibson and Brooke Hemming would put their team calls up now, like, and watch every single one of them. And so I think the biggest hurdle was like not knowing, like, I didn't have anyone before me doing it except other people in plexus. And that's who I had to gravitate towards. So, whatever that is for you, you guys do have you have the resources and you have amazing support. You have things to plug into, but, like always find somebody that's where you want to be, even if it's on another team, like somebody you admire, and just, like ask them what they're doing, like I love to ask people still, like, what's working for your teams? What are you doing? So anyway, does that help? I don't know.
So when you started feeling better, that's when you decided to share and saw it as a business opportunity? Like, how did you even know that you could actually make a lot of money?
So it's funny. And so I started like feeling better. And then, people asked me like, what are you doing? Cause I was pretty sick. Like I didn't get into my health story, but they told me it was MS, and it was actually Lyme disease. Like that's how hard things were getting. I was a very athletic, healthy person before. So people were like, wow, what are you doing? So that's how and then I also had people, you think of people like, wow, this person could benefit. Like I had a friend from grad school that had like, she was a marathon runner. She could get this like fungus in her toe, and she like had GI issues. She couldn't have dairy. And so I reached out to her. So there are different people that I thought about for the products. And so as I saw other people feel better, I was like, wow, like we have something really great. And for me, my hair stopped falling out like month 2, like my blood sugars start getting balanced. I had some Lyme stuff that went away. And I just like was like, wow, people need this. So I still didn't like catch the bigger vision. I was just like, I just want to share. Like, I just want to share. And so I started sharing it in it must have been my second, because I think I started sharing at the end of April, but my second month was like first real paycheck was like $1,000. And I was like, what in the world is this? I think the average gold, makes like $750 now or something like that. That's probably my gold. That's my gold reentry, was around there. And now it's a little bit more because it's like closer to senior gold, but, I was like, this is crazy for just like sharing, and these are amazing. And then I just really caught the vision. I'm like, I can do this. And my husband was like, you can totally do this, So I will say that, like, I don't keep you on all night, but belief is a really important piece. And if you feel like you're lacking belief, then I would just start there. Like, go find your belief. Like, belief is something I've really never wavered in. I have had fears, still have some fears with different things, right? We all do, we're human. But I feel like I was born passionate and born with belief. Like, it's just a God gift. Like, but it is something that really we need to have, and if you believe something's going to happen, like, it will. So I don't know. I think it was around gold I caught the vision. And I said, okay, what do I need to do to get to senior gold? Who can I help? Okay, next rank. And along the ranks, like, it wasn't just like the points. It was like, who are the people? God put people in my life that need these products, need the opportunity. And what are some things that I can do to get myself out of my comfort zone to grow to that next level? So I would reach out to somebody in Plexus, like, hey, what'd you do to what did you start doing at like Ruby? How did you start? I mean, I was leading pretty much everything from the beginning, but and then my upline started doing like team calls and stuff. So we started collaborating along the way. I can't remember when that was, but my sponsor started working somewhere along the way. She's Diamond now. She works her business like hard now, but we've already built it, we're already doing our thing, but so I don't know. That was a long answer, but I think it was like gold-ish that I really caught the vision. And then in 14 months, we hit Emerald. In another year and a half, we hit Sapphire, and then Diamond pretty close together, like back to back. Crazy.
And then how did you cast the vision to create other business builders?
Yes, I think speaking to them. So one thing that's really helpful is when you start talking to people, like I love talking about the products. When we got to Emerald, we had a whole team of product users because it was just like all products. So I was like, all right, if this is going to be sustainable, we need to have like a lot of business builders. And so it is talking about it from day one. And it is giving everybody who starts their products their referral link, tell them what they can do with it. I'm super excited for you to have more energy, get to your weight goal, whatever that is. But one of the perks of your membership is you have a referral link. And, I would love to help you, make $300, this month it's, there's different incentives like, would you be open to that? Would you be open to talking about that with me? And so I ask everybody, and even if they say no, that was me, I just wanted to feel better, I still speak into them, gosh, like I want to know, get curious with your people, like ask questions. You want to know, like, are they working? Do they like their job? Like what do they want in their life? Right. Because if we just start kind of talking about all about the business, like I don't have time, I don't need another business, in the beginning. I mean, some people will jump on right away and want to grow a business, but more times than not, we want to get curious on what do they want in their life. And then you can say, hey, this, you would be really good at this, can I help you, achieve that next bonus, and then once people, I think, get to gold, it's like, that you get them to gold school or, get them that gold paycheck. It's like, wow, they're in it. They like the products. They're making some money every month and their ears are more open, So I think it just starts with like, you share the opportunity, talk about it. I lead with that too sometimes, but just, sharing the referral link right away and sharing what's possible for them. And then, helping people to get to gold without like, I tell people you don't have to grow a business to, make a small paycheck. Do you have a half an hour a day? Keep it super simple and super fun. Abby, last thing I'll say really quick, Abby Wallach is a diamond on my team. She's my level 1, and she has an incredible rheumatoid arthritis story, like incredible. She's a retired teacher now. It has blessed her family's life so like incredibly. And she didn't even like the taste of Slim at first. I said, do you want this to work? Like we need to make this work. Like you just need to chug it and, figure it out. She started sharing just because, again, she saw people that could benefit. And then they were really like struggling financially, had just bought a house, had like a lot of medical bills. And I just said, you would be amazing at this. And I just said, here's what to do. Like just, and then she just said, okay, like, I'll just do what you tell me to do, start with 3 chats. And, she's a diamond now, she wasn't even consistent with the products in the beginning. Right. So keep loving on those people. Right. Andrea, my Sapphire, was a graduate school. She's a physical therapist as well. Andrea, she didn't want anything to do with the business, loved the products, just wanted to get them paid for. But she saw Abby and I running together and had FOMO. And so she was like, I want to do it too. And then started running, so, and now it's been an incredible blessing. She's been able to, they've bought a beautiful house. They're renovating into a farmhouse. There lots of land. She's homeschooling her kids. Like, it's just an amazing, life-changing. So
It's so great. And we've been working a lot on that too with our people, like signing them up, talking to them about the potential. Have you ever thought of a second stream of income or an additional stream of income, or post that you're feeling better, just getting people
share.
to be comfortable and excited and letting them know, like, you have this referral link and this is so you can share and you can get business bonuses too, or make money if you want to make money or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
And right now people need that, right? Like, even just to help somebody cover gas and like groceries, that's huge for people right now,
Mhm. Awesome. Yeah, for sure. I talked to a girl at the gym and she's thinking of working some extra stuff. I'm like, you're just going to trade more time for money. And it's like, how much money is that? She's like, not very much. I'm like, no, not very much. And you're spending all that extra time away from your kids. So
I will say that, like, I cannot imagine ever going back to like we were at PTs, we were hourly, but salary, right? So like an hourly rate. I can never go back to that. It like makes no sense to me. Like, I just, if I ever do therapy again, it will be like I don't know, private practice or whatever, but just, I don't know. Yeah. I just can never do that again.
yeah, we're hourly, but salary. So you're, especially in acute care, like you're salaried for, a 10-hour shift or an 8-hour shift, but your productivity expectation is this. And so really you're working 10 and a half hours or 11 hours to meet the productivity for your 10 hours, even though it's completely not in your control that they gave you, one, a terrible documentation system that takes forever to use, two, that you can't go find people, three, you're running all over the entire hospital.
Yeah.
But and you're only salaried when it's to their benefit. Oh, you can work extra, but when you're like, I need to leave 20 minutes early to go to a doctor's appointment.
Yes, exactly.
I need to come in 20 minutes early or take 20
That's
minutes. I'm like, no,
Totally.
it's not how this works.
Totally. That's exactly how it worked too. So,
Oh yeah. And the outpatient, oh, meet your productivity, even though 3 patients just canceled, but somehow it's your fault that you didn't meet the productivity that day. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we didn't get charting time. And so I was charting at night too and building a business. It was just insane. I don't even know. Like, it's crazy.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna stop the recording.